Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And let's take a step back to August 24th of this year, where we've seen the Tokenization Revolution get posted by Ripple over on their website. Now within this did talk about how tokenization of real world assets like stocks, bonds, carbon credits, and more is fast becoming the driving force behind many of today's most innovative businesses. And because of these assets and how they are stored on a blockchain, the benefits are completely disruptive, including transaction speed, liquidity, cost savings, and round-the-clock access that have made it one of fintech's most promising blockchain use cases. Now, outside of that, they do talk about how we are still in the early wave of adoption, but beyond that, we start to see some valuations. One of the most prominent and most notable predictions is from Boston Consulting Group with a $16 trillion prediction by 2030. Now, one thing that I have been very adamant about regarding tokenization is I don't think that we could really kind of predict what kind of valuation will be put in place by 2030, because I do think that once we really kind of start to see tokenization heating up, I think that it is going to grow rapidly. Year over year growth could be very impressive when it does start to really kind of be adopted in, and it's all because of the benefits behind it. But the reason why I bring this up is because of some of the quotes by the big banks. For an example, we do see these powerful advantages are why Bank of America labeled tokenization a key driver of digital asset adoption, and the reason why leading banks and enterprises are already embracing it. In late 2022, JP Morgan executed its first live trade using tokenized Japanese yen and Singapore dollars as part of the Monetary Authority of Singapore's pilot program. Project Guardian. In the US, the state of California announced a blockchain pilot for a new DMV identification program earlier this year. Innovators are exploring the use case of tokenization on the XRP ledger for real-world assets like NFTs in real estate and carbon credits. And remember, right, like real estate is a big market. It is a $300 trillion global market. And a lot of people have actually predicted that it's much larger, with a notional value upwards of $600+ trillion. The reach of tokenization is incredible, and I really do think that people need to realize that this will really kind of touch every single aspect of life. We're talking about automotive titles, land deeds, things like that. At the end of the day, everything will be tokenized, and it's truly incredible to think about, because if we are talking about that, imagine the amount of demand some of these networks and ledgers could have at the end of the day. And this is also why we talk about this quite a bit with Hedera, but then also CBDCs as a turning point. Of course, that reality requires traction beyond the early pilots underway today. For the next phase of growth to occur and tokenization to truly live up to its potential, financial innovators must first demonstrate adoption for more traditional assets like currency, equities, stocks, and bonds. It will also necessitate the development of protocols and marketplaces upon which these tokens can be created and exchanged. Now, again, with this, we know that 93% of central banks are already exploring CBDCs, and we actually see a direct quote here from the head of liquidity products, Brad Chase. I think we'll soon see advanced derivatives and options, algorithm-based complexities that we haven't yet discovered, all of which will be built on a blockchain foundation. Bringing assets on-chain is just step one, and we do see the future of business is tokenized as well. And within this report, we do see the token lifecycle in the Internet of Value tokenized. 80+% of global finance leaders think tokenization will have a big impact on trading tokenized assets like stocks and bonds, buying and selling real estate, derivatives, and carbon credits. $18 billion total market size of all tokenized assets right now managed. 50 billion plus total DeFi market cap in February of 2023. 66% of enterprise finance leaders are familiar with using blockchain solutions for finance to trade, borrow, or lend to tokenized real-world assets. And then move. $250 trillion expected cross-border payments value by 2027. With increased liquidity, the token's value can be used as a form of digital currency and moved around the world in real time 24/7, 365. So with tokenization becoming a hot topic, the question is, how will all of this be moved and settled? And that's where really XRP comes into place, and also even Ripple as a company and a few other players too, which we will talk about here in a second. But first, I want to talk to you guys about a few things. So there was a great video and a huge thread that got posted by Flip the Chain. Huge shout out to Flip the Chain for this. we do see a few players from Ripple, Medico, and things like that being brought up. But first and foremost, the research head at Ripple did talk about the XRP Ledger. The XRP Ledger is the perfect blockchain for central limit order book, CLOB, DEX, because the transaction fee is almost zero. This means the entire NASDAQ and S&P can be moved to the XRP Ledger by tokenizing stocks. And remember, one of the biggest quotes that everyone knows about is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. Larry Fink talks about tokenization. If you've ever invested in stocks, understand what T+1 and T+2 mean. With tokenization technology, it can solve settlements instantaneously, meaning T0, which is a huge step when investing in securities. BlackRock and Vanguard basically own the planet. They own any company you can name, and having Fink being open-minded with crypto and blockchain technology is a good thing. And listen closely to this video.
Has this changed your view of crypto at all? You now have a deal with Coinbase, and yet you were always sort of also, I think, a bit of a skeptic of all of this.
Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that. I do believe
because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created it. Its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem. You don't need trust banks.
But does that disrupt you eventually? Because you are custodying all of these assets.
No, we're not a custodian. We're not, we use third-party custodians in everything we do.
In everything you do?
We're not a custodian bank.
So your goal, by the way, I don't think that he was technically a custodian either, which is a separate issue. I
think they were. I don't know if there was a real custodian in that closed ledger, but that's a whole other story. You should ask him that question. No, I mean, the transformation, think about it, instantaneous settlement, bonds and stocks. No middlemen. We're going to bring down fees even more dramatically. As for me, I don't have to vote on any shares anymore because the beneficial owner will do all the voting. They'll have it.
And that's where I want to go with this conversation.
Okay, I knew I was going to take you there.
Thank you.
So there you guys have it. And again, this is an older video. This goes back to March of this year. But everything has been falling into place regarding tokenization. The reason why I brought that video up is because, yes, we could very well see the entire NASDAQ and the S&P 500 moved on to some of these ledgers. I mean, hell, even if the XRP ledger saw, small percentages, 1%, 10%, I mean, that's massive. That's a massive amount of money. But then when do you see the Medico acquisition by Ripple was quite strategic. With this acquisition, Ripple can offer services like trading, tokenization, staking, smart contract management, asset custody. These portfolios of services shall be good enough to migrate the stock trading, securities, and derivative market to XRP Ledger. Recent Citigroup's collaboration with Medico in developing institutional digital asset custody indicates the vast potential of securities tokenization. Remember, the DTCC is selling $2.4 quadrillion per year in securities. And remember, if we're talking about securities tokenization and you're talking about instant settlement, well, guess what? XRP could very well see a percentage of that market too. A future multi-trillion-dollar business. Since Medico is now Ripple, these multi-trillion dollars will flow to XRP Ledger, pushing the price of XRP to the higher side. We don't have confirmation of that. Not to hit at anyone, but I'm just saying we don't actually have confirmation of that. But then we also see Sologenic. DEX built on the XRP Ledger uses the Saxo trading system. For asset trading, Saxo Bank and Medico are ISSA, International Security Services Association members, including giants such as JP Morgan, the Fed, Financial Services, the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, and SWIFT. Given the influence of these markets, there are high chances of transition the stock trading securities and derivative market to XRP Ledger. Recently, the HKMA, Hong Kong monetary authorities, selected Ripple to participate in its EHKD pilot program. The program investigates various use cases, including payments, tokenized deposits, settlement of Web3 technology or transactions, and token asset settlements. In partnership with Fubon Bank Hong Kong, Ripple plans to demonstrate a unique use case involving real estate asset tokenization and equity release using EHKD. Additionally, the introduction of XLS30 AMM, automated market maker, integrated into the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange, and Sologenix IDO launchpad designed to assist developers and startups on the XRP Ledger are both developments that will help transition multi-trillion-dollar stock trading securities and derivative market to the XRP Ledger community. Well done, Ripple. Utility shall win. Now, again, all of this is not going to go on to just the XRP Ledger with XRP grasping all the money, but I do think that we could see small percentages that could severely affect the price of XRP. But listen.
And one of the reasons we talked about is that scalability problem of blockchains, that the cloud-based DEXs cannot really scale well on public blockchains because of the higher transaction fee. Well, the transaction fee on XRP Ledger is almost zero, close to zero. So it's really, really possible for even the cloud-based DEXs to thrive on XRP Ledger. So that's another really cool feature, I think, that XRP Ledger. And also, and one of the
And again, yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, as we really kind of look at some of these transactional fees and we look at what's happening around these transactional fees and the efficiencies of XRP, it's revolutionary. But we also seen David Schwartz talking a little bit about this. He dropped a massive gem. This goes back into like the middle of the month. This got posted by 3TGM Crypto. Source was flipped to chain, but we do see Ripple CTO David Schwartz drops a gem. Tokenization on XRP Ledger will become a reality in just 18 months. We're talking about a year and a half. With the world quickly embracing tokenization, what's the impact on XRP? Will the XRP Ledger become a hub for asset tokenization? It's a question, right? But it's a big question, and it could very well be a possibility. But listen closely to what David Schwartz is talking about here.
As real-world asset tokenization projects grow, I think the XRP Ledger is going to be a really good platform for them to launch on, particularly because of the low fees and because of the integration with the DEX, with the proximity to sort of the movement of funds. The ability, if someone's going to buy, what do you want to do with a real-world tokenized asset? You want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want to transfer it. And if you want to buy it and sell it, you want to be able to do that with whatever asset is convenient for you. You don't want to tie, if you tokenize some sort of debt, like you don't want to tie it to US dollars because then that limits access to it to people who have sort of proximity to US dollars. One of the things the XRP Ledger is good for is giving you sort of proximity to many different assets, and that exchange is seamlessly built in. So I think that's one of the many reasons why the XRP Ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real-world assets. I think we'll see that in the next year and a half.
So there you guys have it, the next year and a half. And remember, like as we really kind of look at tokenization, once it starts to kick in, once we start to see adoption of tokenization, it is essentially game over because it is going to move so damn fast. And I've always said this because, again, the efficiencies locked behind blockchain, locked behind some of these assets like XRP, for instance, are so game-changing. And it's not me trying to sell the used car. It's me literally telling you guys, like, as we look at the world of traditional finance, it is so damn inefficient. It is plagued with inefficiencies. It is so problematic. So that is why when we look at some of these assets like XRP or some of these companies like Ripple that are pioneering blockchain and crypto solutions for the tokenized society of tomorrow, I find it so damn overwhelmingly exciting. Because once we start to see some of this money flowing on chain, man, it's going to change this entire space. And Chainlink, I have to, really kind of put this in the video because Chainlink put out a great report regarding real-world asset tokenization and how it is inevitable. And remember, like as we look at this space, like we're not trying to compare Chainlink to Ripple or anything like that. I think that this is a great informative document because it shares with you guys just the overall viewpoint of how much value is just waiting on the sidelines to be brought on chain, and $867 trillion of value is waiting to be brought on chain. 80x growth rate of tokenization in private markets. T+0 settlement, 24/7, 365 markets. The future is on. And here you guys have the report where we do see why on-chain finance is inevitable, an industry brief on the next generation of capital markets infrastructure. And then if we scroll down, we can see the future of finance is on. The world's largest financial institutions are quickly realizing the opportunity for blockchain technology to redefine capital markets. Forward-thinking banks and financial services companies are already moving operations on-chain to unlock deep liquidity for previously illiquid assets, reduce costs via automated workflows, and develop higher integrity markets. This industry brief provides an overview of the opportunities driving these institutions on-chain, along with key technical considerations to successfully capitalize on this massive economic shift. And then down here we have tokenized assets, a multi-$100 trillion opportunity for early adopters. 867 trillion size of traditional markets poised for disruption by tokenization. 97% of institutional investors agree that tokenization will revolutionize asset management, and an 80x expected growth rate of tokenization in private markets by 2030. And these are coming from Citi, BNY Mellon, and even the World Economic Forum. And then down here we do see the tokenization of asset classes offers the prospect of driving inefficiencies in capital markets, shortening value chains, and improving cost and access for investors. And this is from BlackRock. And then here we have why tokenization. You can see the overall report here. We even see 16x growth from today's levels, 70x growth from today's levels if tokenization reaches the more aggressive estimate of 42% of global GDP by 2030. And like I said, I think that once we start to see this being realized, well, guess what? It's game over. Like, it's going to move so damn fast. And you can see some of the windows of opportunity here, and the actual efficiencies behind blockchain technology. And then from Accenture, the holy grail would be to achieve full automation throughout the stack with tokenization using blockchain technology. Here we have streamlined industry processes as well. And then last but not least, seamless interoperability for global liquidity. And here you have a few of the major players out there, BNY Mellon, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and even Swift. So as we look at the world, DLT adoption is only going to continue to grow from here on out. We seriously are in the right industry. We are seriously looking at the right things. We are doing as much research as possible because, guys, this is truly a once-in-a-generation opportunity. This is something that you cannot miss out on. You seriously cannot miss out on this. And by the way, here you guys have a great insight on Ripple's overall goal and their vision from XRP Drops. Ripple's vision in one sentence from Brad Garlinghouse. It's about being the bridge between a growing world of tokenized assets and traditional enterprises that want to enter the space. Check this out.
It's about being the bridge between a growing world of tokenized assets and traditional enterprises that want to enter this space.
And there you guys have it, right? And this truly is a company that is embracing blockchain and crypto solutions and have been for well over a decade now. And I really do think that we are getting closer as every single day passes to the point of critical mass in terms of blockchain adoption, crypto adoption. We still have some time, right? Give it a year and a half, give it 2 years, maybe even possibly 3. But over the course of the next couple of years, we are going to see tokenization take over the whole world. And I also think that this is a solution that's going to shock the world because this is back-end technology. Remember that, right? Like, this is not technology that you and me will know about unless we are actually doing the research and understanding what's actually happening. So I do think that this is going to shock the world. I also think that this is going to revolutionize and disrupt every single major industry and sector out there. And I think it's very exciting to really kind of be able to be in this market at this current moment in time and see this before the big moves actually happen and before the big names and the institutions are really tapped in heavily. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.